So I wrote it over about about the future of South Korea, but actually, so I'm not saying that so I'm not saying that South Korea is going to die or South Korea is going to be destroyed tomorrow. Such a thing is what I'm not talking about. And what I'm talking about is that so in your foreseeable future. So for example, so if you ask me when South Korea is going to be over, well, when South Korea is going to be demolished, if you ask me such a question, so I can't, I can't, I can't expect, or I can't, so, not protect, but actually, so, I thought that about, not yeah prophecy or predict. I can't predict the actual date of the end of the end of South Korea, but actually or Republic of Korea anyway. So which I think is official term for the name of that southern part or southern nation or of the Korean Peninsula anyway. But actually, so considering, so what I'm saying is that, so anyway, so what I'm saying is that, so naturally speaking, economic inequalities are created in each country or in each region or in each human society, and so so among a cohort among a cohort of the population of our region, which is what I'd like you to imagine anyway. What I'd like you to imagine is a cohort or is a group of people living in, for example, living in particular area. So living in a particular area, which is fine for you to imagine. And among which, so some people work hard, and some people moderately work, and some people do not work anyway. So roughly saying, and so for example, 20% of the entire population work hard, and so and another 20% of the entire population do not work. What to start with, they do not have jobs, and the rest of the 60% of the entire population work moderately, or work at the moderate or usual level, or work at standardized levels, which is what I'm saying. And to start with, so picking up that sample, picking up that cohort as a sample, or as a group of sample. And so it's possible to say that so that top to 20%, or that hard the hard workers accounting for the 20% of the entire population must have more money, or more wealth than other people, which is a natural structure of each human society, and which is what I'm saying. Which is what I'm saying. So, but actually, so considering the entire population of South Korea, maybe around 30 million, or 40 million, or 50 million. But anyway, so I'm going to tell you later the population of South Korea, if I can remember anyway. But actually, so South Korea is not so it's not South Korea is not tiny country. South Korea is fairly a huge country compared with other European countries. Maybe considering the population of South Korea emulates, or not emulates, may emulate that of France, or that of at least the population of South Korea exceeds those of Finland, or Denmark, or Sweden, or those Nordic countries. The populations of Nordic countries are exceeded by that of South Korea. and there are other small or tiny nations in Europe, And so I'm sorry for my bad pronunciation of English language, and that is because I'm a non-native speaker of English language, which is why so I can, as you can hear and as you can understand, I'm a non-native speaker and I can speak English natively, and which is why so comparing my speaking performance with those of native speakers of English language, I underperform those native speakers anyway, which I think is natural actually. But actually, and comparing my speaking English, or my manner of speaking English with those of, for example, German people, or other European, or other Germanic people, or other Nordic people. So those of other Nordic people, they are, I underperform them, and which I think is natural because my mother tongue is Asian language, and East Asian language East Asian language is my mother tongue anyway. That is Japanese anyway, and you don't have to remember this, but actually anyway. So compare. Well, I began to talk about my skill of speaking English language, or speaking out a foreign language, and but actually anyway, so this is not a which is not a this is not a main track of this episode. And wait a moment, please. The application is still working, and so there are some accidental cessations or accidental stops of recording in this application, and which is Anchor, and so which is why so I'm often worried about whether this application is working well or not. And anyway, I should tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. And the title is, as I have already told you, so too much equality is harmful. And the conclusion is, this year South Korean rich people haven't been listed in the list of the richest people of Forbes. South Korea is over. And so I don't have to tell you the reason. And anyway, so the reason is, as I have told you, considering considering the nature of each human society, so economic inequalities, or other types of inequality, or inequalities, or other aspects of, or various aspects of inequalities are going to be created. For example, so the so I think this type of inequality is the most famous one among all over the world. But actually, so that is economic inequality. The economic inequality is the most famous one among many aspects, or among many categories of inequalities. For example, so in my case, so I'm not so good at exercise, or doing sports, or playing sports. For example, I'm a bad player of baseball, and so considering which, so there is an inequality among people, and I'm a my skill of baseball is considerably low compared with others, and which is why so there's such an inequality. For example, in my country, and my country has some professional players of baseballs. And so there are many people who can play baseball better than I do, and other people can play baseballs moderately, and I can't play baseball well. And but actually, there is a type of inequality. And and another one is the popularity among girls anyway. So I'm not so the popularity of boys among girls can be controversial anyway. So many people looking cool do not become popular in some cases among girls. In the case of my country anyway, this may be a particular case to my country, but actually, so not being looking anyway. So boys being boys looking cool or good, that doesn't necessarily mean that can become popular among Japanese girls anyway, or the local girls in my country. And so I can't explain its reason, and one of them is maybe how should I say, this society is, using this difficult word, this society is, this society egalitarian. So which is why, they like to head for head for head for becoming the standard, or becoming neutral, or becoming natural anyway. So, so becoming not natural, but becoming usual anyway. So there's such a tendency or there's such a likelihood among the local people in my country, and I don't know whether you could understand what I have explained. So being egalitarian is one of the features of my country, one of the remarkable features of my country, and so using easier words, they like to, people, the local people like to become ordinary people, or usual people, which is why looking too cool can be can can be harmful to them, or not harmful, but actually disadvantageous to those boys looking cool, or those cool guys anyway. So please imagine, so it's complicated. It's what I like you it's complicated. The situation is complicated in the case of the popularity, the boys' popularity is among girls, which is what I like you do remember in this case. But actually, anyway, I don't have any explanation about that. But actually, so so this is just an example of inequality. So which is why, so so until some years before, or five or 10 years, until 5 or 10 years before, not 5 or 10 years, 10 years before, until 5 years before, or or in the older times than five years before. Anyway, I don't know whether this explanation, or this usages of words is correct as English language, but actually, so maybe you can understand it. I'm recording this episode in the end of February in 2023, which means 5 years ago. It is February in 2018, and the older time is, for example, 2017 or 2016 and 2015, and until then, so South Korean rich people had been ranked into the list of Forbes, which means Forbes creates annual list, list, comprising, or incorporating the top richest people from the first to somewhere else, to somewhere, from the top to the second richest and third richest. Those richest, those richest people worldwide are listed in the list created by Forbes, which is that type of list is what I'm talking about, and what that list is what I'm talking about, and those rich people are sorted, or those rich people are made sort of in the along the along the amount of wealth that each of them have. And I don't know whether you could understand which type of list I'm talking about, but actually, the list of the richest person all over the world is what I'm talking about, and that list is created annually, and which is why, and but actually, and in the case of rich South Korean people, and they have been ranked into that list, and into that list, so they haven't become, as long as I can remember. So they haven't become the richest person all over the world, or the second richest person all over the world. They hadn't be, those South Korean richest people hadn't become those hadn't got on such highest positions all over the world, in terms of the amount of wealth, or the amount of annual income anyway. But actually, some of them had been listed in that list of the richest people. But actually, recently, so I couldn't confirm, and so that list has at least 200 people. I mean, so which means, so from the first richest people to the 200th richest people are listed in that list. I don't know whether I can surely say how many people are comprised or how many people are listed in the list of the richest people all over the world, which is created annually anyway. So I can't surely say that how many numbers of people are listed in that list, but actually so essentially so there's no South Korean people in that list, and there are some so the regular members of my country are three people who are Tadashi Yamai and Masayoshi Son, and who has an ancestry of Korea anyway. And the third person is, the third or second person is, I forgot his name. So the founder of Kiens, I forgot the name of that country. Not Busuzima. I forgot the name of that. Anyway, I forgot the name of that remaining person of that remaining the richest Japanese person. But actually, anyway, so there are three regular members. So what was his name? Not Mr. Fukutake. So I'm sorry. So I forgot his name. And anyway, so he has graduated from the same high school as there's a famous comedian in my country, and they graduated from the same high school, which is what I recently found. And anyway, so but actually in the case of my country, three people are ranked into that list. But actually, in the case of South Korea, so in the past they had some of them had been ranked into the list of the richest people. But actually, recently, there's nobody from South Korea, which is why there's no richest people, which is because something happened in that country, and which is why maybe the wealth can be equally distributed among people. But actually even in such a case, considering the size of that country, it's natural that some people get listed into that list of the richest people, considering the population of that country. So which is why it's unnatural that and moreover, South Korea is categorized into one of the developed countries in East Asia at least, and which is why so too much equality is bad, because so richest people pay a lot of tax for their countries, which is why collecting richest people into your country, for example, if you do such a thing, or if your country or if your region do such if your regions do such a thing, and your regions means the regions you live in, for example, by lowering the rate of taxes, there had been such regions or places which did for collecting many rich people, and but actually it's possible to collect the rich people. It's possible to gather many rich people into one place, and that place can get a lot of taxes, or a huge that place can get huge amount of taxes, which is what I'm talking about. But actually which is why having many rich people is favorable to their own to each country, which is why South Korea losing those numbers, losing the positions of the richest people all over the world is harmful for South Korea itself, which is it's possible to say so, which is why if you are not interested in, or if you don't know what South Korea is, please take a look at please take a look at the internet at first, so that you can find out what kind of country South Korea is. And I'm thinking of ending this episode, and which is why so many people find economic inequality really a huge problem. But actually inequality is natural. So which is why which is why so I created this episode to tell you that too much inequality is bad or harmful for the society you belong to, and which is what I'd like you to know this time. So anyway, I have told you the title of this episode. I think too much equality is harmful, which is the title of this episode, and the conclusion is these years South Korean rich people haven't been listed in the list of the richest people of Forbes. South Korea is over. So which is why anyway. So South Korea is just an example. So and I'm going to tell you the population of South Korea afterwards. So anyway, that's it. Thank you very much for listening. See you. And here is the population of South Korea, or Republic of Korea, and which is, wait a moment please, which is, so 51,386,000, which is the population of South Korea. And I'm saying this in the end of February in 2023. And the population of South Korea is declining or falling, which is why because of the lower birth rate, lower fertility rates than other countries, which is why the population is going to fall from this number, I think. And by the way, I also take that the remaining was the third richest, or among my in my country. So he was the second richest person, and his name was his name is Takemitsu Takizaki, and who is the founder of TNS. And the third richest person is Masayoshi. The third richest person was Masayoshi Son, and the richest person was in my country was so Tadashi Yanai. And Tadashi Yanai is famous for Uniqlo anyway. First Retailing is the name of his company. I as long as I can remember. So that's it. And thank you very much for listening. See you.